Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Strong Style here on the Outlaw Nation channel. I am the Outlaw John Rocha, coming to you live from my studios, the Outlaw Nation studios here in San Diego. And I'm joined, as always, by my co-host there in Orlando, a member of the Marshall Thundering Herd over there, Aaron Turner. How are you?
Great, the undefeated Marshall Thundering Herd. You know, I'm just trying to set a record for streams in a week for me. So let's go with hour 5 here on the stream. So
5? That's like a Tuesday for me.
I know, but we did 4 hours on the one stream.
Oh, that's right.
Tuesday. That was wild. That was the longest one I've ever done. So
and you were great to join us, man. Thanks so much. It was a blast. We did election watch along. Thing has almost 20,000 views. Pretty much incredible numbers to be getting for an election watch along, and it was almost 5 hours.
So that was a long one.
So who's watching our 5-hour thing? Apparently a few of you are. So, but let's introduce, why don't you handle the introduction here? Aaron, you've asked your friend TJ to come on the show. Let's do it.
Sure. Welcome my good friend and not relative of Becky Lynch. It's kayfabe. TJ Quinn of the jobberknocker.com here with us, famed writer, NXT aficionado, and wrestling knowledge connoisseur. TJ, welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you very much for having me, guys. I watch the show a bunch of times every single Friday night, so have to join in. I was happy to be here.
Very kind of you. What made you want to bring TJ on to the show, Aaron? You know, you pitched this to me earlier this week, and I'm like, sure, bring him on. What made you want to bring him on? Is there something specific, some kind of input you want him to have with us today?
He's just as smart as I am about wrestling, pretty much. So I need another brainiac on the show. Never hurt anybody. So
truth.
Yeah, okay. I see in the chat. Yeah, we're doing this during SmackDown. Leave it alone, okay? DVR it.
I mean, Murderana, you can literally DVR it.
Pause it, and then that way, when we're done, you can fast forward through all the commercial breaks.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
Here's a hint.
We're doing it during SmackDown. I'm a little distracted. There's something going on in the world right now that has a lot of people distracted. So I'm sorry. But yeah, we're doing it now. Sorry.
Yeah. Plus, I had a Schmoedown match earlier, so I had to delay it. So I apologize to everybody. Yeah, blame me if you want. But anyway, we're gonna get into a bunch of wrestling news from the week. And TJ, what do you write for? How are you involved in pro wrestling at this stage in your life?
So I am part of the Jobber Knocker podcast. So I write NXT for the website. So I cover the black and yellow brand, the #1 brand in professional wrestling today.
Wow.
So, I will stick up for them 100%. But we're a bunch of fun guys who just enjoy wrestling, do it for fun. And, I took the week off because of the election and all. But, I'm all caught up in everything now. So.
He's just like, I need a mental health week, not a mental health day, a mental health week, man.
You have no idea, man. If you guys did 5 hours, I did a turnaround for election to work. So.
Oh man, no thanks. Well, this is going to be a lot of fun. Getting into all the stuff we're going to get into. We're going to preview a little bit of AEW Full Gear. We're going to talk about some news stories here. There is no more match of the week. We kind of retired that because we felt that it was causing way too many problems in the headline of these videos, and also we didn't feel like you guys were that into it in large numbers of us recapping some of these matches from the past. So maybe we'll bring that back if we ever kind of splinter Strong Style off into its own YouTube channel. Maybe we'll add that to the programming, doing some watch-alongs and rewatches and discussions about classic matches. And maybe TJ will stop in and be a guest on that as well if we ever get that going. But this is going to be going forward. Strong Style is straight news of the week going on in professional wrestling. Aaron Turner is great to curate the news with the occasional contribution from me. So I'm excited to get into things today. And remember, the Streamlabs and Superchats are open. So if you want to support the show, if you want to keep supporting things with you, because to be honest with you, Strong Style is the least watched of the shows I do in the Outlaw Nation. And so you can make up for that by really donating here in your Streamlab and Superchats to make it worth it for us to keep doing it every week. We've had a little bit of a good run over the last 3 weeks here, Aaron, going over 1,000 views with each one of these videos. So we'd like to keep that streak going. So anyway, send it in. You see the address. Oh, actually, you don't see. You see the address in the description. The address is in the description of this video for the Streamlabs. And, of course, you can always send in the Super Chat. All right, let's get it on, Aaron. What do we got first in the world of professional wrestling?
So we're talking about this weird story that comes out of Impact Wrestling. This is wrestler Kylie Ray in the Knockouts division. Kind of coming out of left field saying she's no longer going to be a professional wrestler. This was made on her Patreon page Monday. She wrote a heartfelt message to her subscribers, citing her health as a factor. She also announced that she's taking a break from social media. I'll try to paraphrase. Well, it's not that long. I'll just read it. statement is, thus, I'm truly sorry for the pain and I've caused the miscommunication. I'm currently unwell. I'm also sorry that I wasn't able to get this out before your monthly subscription charge. I wanted to take this time to say I'm no longer a professional wrestler and am currently taking a break from social media. It's been a very hard decision to make, but please understand. When I am well, I will try to fulfill the obligations I have missed. During this time, most tiers will not be able to be fulfilled. Please feel free to unsubscribe from this Patreon account. Thank you for your understanding. Yeah, man, this is a weird thing because a couple, like maybe about a year ago, she was, or a year or so ago, she was a part of AEW.
Yeah.
She was, I think, the second or third female wrestler that they signed. And she had a lot of high expectations in AEW. Then all of a sudden, she does one match, she's gone. And there was some weird thing going on with, like, Chris Jericho was involved, we thought. I don't know, some weird kabuki stuff going on. And now we have this again, and it makes me think that maybe there's some mental health issues afoot, because it doesn't seem like a torn ACL or anything like that. So I'm really concerned about her mental health at this point. I hope everything's fine. I hope she's doing well.
Right.
And if you need to take a break, by all means do it. But I'm sitting here, I'm reading this, and it's just, man, another thing for a very talented wrestler. I mean, TJ, what do you think, man?
Well, that one caught me off guard. Like you said, it was completely out of left field because she was, I mean, that was probably one of the most hyped matches on for Bound for Glory. I know it was the one that I was most excited for. So, I mean, when I tuned in and I didn't see her, I was almost disappointed because you're like, wow, I'm really hyped for this match. But like you said, too, like the way she left AEW was really mysterious and out of, really shocking to the way. So because she was the number 2 star that they signed for women, and then she just kind of disappeared and was done. So really disappointing. But like you said, if it's something mental health, you got to take care of yourself and look out for yourself. So it might be better that she steps away and steps out of that limelight for a while.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, she's 28. And so, the demands on the professional wrestler nowadays versus the professional wrestler in the 80s. I mean, there was a lot of demand in terms of like driving around, or in the 90s as well. You constantly go from show to show to show, but people told you in the past to hide your mental health stuff, hide your, and a lot of people disappeared into drugs and disappeared into alcohol and disappeared into having these situations. And we see a lot of these wrestlers dying early from substance abuse, from either the painkiller, physical pain, or the emotional pain that they tried to deal with as they were doing things they were doing. So if you've got a wrestler, and now we're more aware of that being an issue with a lot of athletes and pro wrestlers. So having her step away, maybe to take a little bit of a mental health break, is, I think, a positive overall for this young lady as a human being, because professional wrestling is your job. It is not who you are. And that's the really important thing that you see from wrestlers nowadays. We see so many of them break into entertainment like it's nobody's business. And back in the 80s and 90s, and even in the 2000s, it was unheard of. And yet now you're seeing it happening in such frequency because there's more to life than just professional wrestling. There are other avenues to explore. We see Becky Lynch laying down the title, something she worked so hard to get and maintain for a long time as the belt holder, as the champion, laying it down so she can go be a mother, because some things are more important than professional wrestling. And so with her here, with Kylie Rae, her stepping away from this thing, I think is a positive if she's doing it for the right reasons, which is, I need to take care of myself, figure out what's going on, and then I'll come back to be a professional wrestler. She's been doing this for a while, since 2016. She debuted with Booker T's Reality of Wrestling throughout, and so she's worked her way to the point where she was, as you said, ready to have one of the most looked forward to matches in Bound for Glory, and then just stepped away and didn't even, like, people didn't know she wasn't going to show up in the arena. She didn't even tell people.
Right.
So that how deep was her, how can I say this? How deep was her panic attack or anxiety or whatever place she slipped into her mind that didn't get her to call people to let them know she was going to be able to make the event so they could scramble and figure out what to do. They had to scramble on the fly, which is a tough thing to do when you're a wrestling business that's not necessarily making that much money. So it's an interesting situation overall. But you wish her well, but you don't know what the end result's going to be for someone like Kylie Rae.
Well, I do want to input that Scott D'Amore and Don Callis said that, she's welcome back. So whenever she gets it together, Scott should say it like that, whenever she is well, then she's going to be welcome back to do that. I do want to read a statement that Booker T said, because you did mention that Booker T was her trainer. She was part of Reality Wrestling.
Right.
He said, among other things, he said he talked to her in the past after the whole AEW thing, thought everything was back on track. And then he goes on to say, to no show another pay-per-view with another company, and then for this to come out, it tells me she's in a place where maybe the last place she needs to be is around a professional wrestling ring and a bunch of wrestlers. It could be. It's just not helpful to her right now.
Yeah.
She should concentrate on that more than wrestling. Her health and well-being is more important than anything else. Obviously, she's dealing with something. That comes from Fightful.com.
Yeah.
So that right there. But, yeah, I mean, Booker T, her trainer. I mean, who else? Who would know her better than Booker? And for him to come out and say something like this really, hammers home that she's got to be dealing with something pretty serious here.
Yeah.
And it's a huge blow for Impact too. I mean, Impact was making a good comeback at this point. I mean, Bound for Glory was one of the most talked about shows for a while for them, and then their women's division was really hitting their stride again, like they were in like 2009. And then to get that, I'm pretty sure she was supposed to win that title too, like the way that they were going and the momentum was. So it was definitely a big blow for them. So
yeah. TJ, what were some of the why did you look forward to this match so much? I mean, what is it about her that separates her from some of these other female wrestlers? Because she's been a champion almost everywhere she's gone. So that tells you that a lot of these people who run these promotions see her as a singular talent.
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, I'm a huge Deonna Purrazzo fan. So, I mean, I was really, I like seeing her getting that big spot. Like, she didn't get in WWE, so it was really exciting for that. And then same thing with Kylie Ray. Like, she didn't really get the wheels going in AEW. So it was good to see her get that run. And even though you don't like to see your favorites lose, like I was ready to see her, dethrone Deonna Purrazzo and have a nice lengthy feud like that.
Yeah. Do you think they had scheduled her to dethrone her either way? Because I mean, I can't remember the wrestler they chose to step in there.
Su Yung.
Su Yung can't on a comeback here from her own injury or her own time away from the ring, coming back and winning the title. So do you think it was scheduled for her to win the title anyway? Kylie to win the title? Yeah,
I think Kylie was supposed to win that. There was the way that story was running, especially because Deonna technically wasn't contracted by Impact. So that was half the story was she didn't have a contract. She was just kind of running the show. So
right. Okay. All right. Anything more to add on this one there, Aaron?
That's about all. Okay. I do want to mention that I do love Su Yung as well. I like to see her as Impact champion. If you haven't caught Su Yung on Impact, you got to check her out. She's a unique performer. She does this thing where she has almost like the Fiend, like a split personality. Like one part of her is like this happy-go-lucky, almost like doll named Susie, and then she flips and she's the undead bride in Su Yung. So if you haven't had a chance to check out Su Yung, definitely give her a look.
Okay. All right. Where are we on to next, brother?
So we're going to talk about John Rocha's favorite wrestler of all time. We're going to talk about The Rock's son. And so there was this WWE Network has a Meeting the Undertaker special. And The Rock was interviewed for it, and he was talking about his experiences in WWE and stated that there were a handful of people back in the day that wanted to squash his early momentum. The Rock goes on to say, "This is stuff I've never shared, but what I want to do is share it because it's important. When I started to make the move up the card and word started to get out around the office was priming me for a WWE Championship run, there were a handful of guys in the business at the time who did everything they could to stop that from happening.
Wow.
The Undertaker, was always so steady telling me, don't worry about it, kid. Just go out there and keep doing your thing. You have a hell of a future." So who possibly could have been stifling The Rock back in the day?
I feel like you're alluding to someone. Can you please speculate who you think it might be here?
Maybe dudes with 3-letter names, like 3 H's and an H and an HB and a K. Seems to be the culprits. I mean, The Rock was on a meteoric rise. You got to think once he dumped the Nation thing and got in that rivalry with Stone Cold Steve Austin for the Intercontinental Championship, then did the rivalry with Mick Foley, joined the corporation. Rock was off to the races after that. So you got to think it had to be Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels isn't here during this time. He's already gone, but you got to think Triple H is a part of that for sure. Stifling The Rock. I mean, it just always, no matter in front of the camera, behind the camera, Triple H and The Rock are always going to be rivals. And it's just one of those things where Triple H, he's with Shawn, he's with the Clique, and then he kind of feels his spot slipping away a little bit. Yeah. And there you go, trying to stifle The Rock. TJ, I know you're with me on this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not a Rock fan, but I'm even less of a Triple H guy. And Oh yeah, no, not a Triple H guy. Sorry, man. But I mean, you could definitely see that one, especially because if you look at the timing of when The Rock was like rising, Triple H was still kind of like paying his dues and kind of getting beat down. He was doing the DX thing, but never was really on top like The Rock was at the time. So,
yeah, I'm not surprised to hear it was Triple H. I think they have a friendly rivalry. Maybe didn't start out friendly, but eventually became friendly. Because remember, Triple H was one of those guys that showed up at The Rock's first time hosting SNL, and they had that funny opening monologue where he was confronted by a number of the WWS was telling him to do it well, and it was Triple H that got a little like really intense about telling him to represent the brand well. So you get these guys that have big egos, and look, I get it why Triple H felt this way, because Triple H was the one that, like, when Vince was like, if you guys want to understand what's going on behind the scenes, want to be part of it, Triple H was these people that was getting up at 5 or 6 in the morning and driving into that office, and no other wrestlers were there to sit in on these corporate meetings, even though they had the red carpet laid out for them to do that if they wanted to. And Triple H was the one. So seeing someone else kind of slide in and take with the take the road that he was hoping to walk down, I'm sure it threatened him. And HBK is a dick anyway, so I'm not surprised that he was trying to step on people. Yeah, fuck him, man. I'm so tired of people coddling that fool. He's the way he is, and I get it. Like, I get it. Everyone loves him. Oh, he's a born again, yet he's a dick. It's all these things that is like, well, it doesn't. He is who he is, and Sean has his strong opinions. I'm okay with Triple H being this way, because guys that with strong egos to succeed, they see other people with strong egos to succeed, and they feel threatened by it. Because Triple H doesn't strike me as the nicest guy, but The Rock is, and I've had experiences with him, and that man will give you the shirt off his back when you do junkets with him. He cut a promo with me, and when he didn't have to do it at all. He cut a promo with me. It's one of the greatest things I've ever experienced in my life. But he is willing to do that. I don't know. I've met Triple H a couple times. I have never gotten that vibe off Paul Levesque, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's just built differently. So he saw a guy like The Rock, who is like, he probably sees The Rock as a good-looking dude, great shape. All the ladies love him, and he's getting over like crazy. And there's a natural jealousy that comes into it. I mean, listen, way in a small, minute level, I experienced that in the Schmodown when some of these players were so upset that the Outlaw was getting promoted everywhere, and they weren't. Yet they were boring as hell, or their victories weren't that consistent, yet they wanted the same smoke. And no, you got to earn the smoke. And he was earning the smoke with his performances, with his character work, and with his promos. My God, his promos. Triple H has never cut a memorable promo, but The Rock built his career on promos and the work he did in the ring. So for me, I'm not surprised by this. But he said guys. So do you think he only meant Triple H and HBK? Any chance that Stone Cold had an issue with this? Any chance that these other guys had an issue with this?
I think you might be onto something. I don't know how much Stone Cold would have put into it. We know the Undertaker definitely wasn't one of those guys, because he even goes on to say that Taker was never that guy for him. But Austin, it's very possible Austin did not want to put over Brock Lesnar, if you recall, in that King of the Ring qualifier. Right. So, or the
NWO.
Yeah. It is.
I mean, The Rock put over Stone Cold a whole bunch of times, so I kind of would like not feel that way per se, because I think that The Rock made Austin look like a champ, literally. So
right, yeah. I'm not a hater, dog. I tell the truth. I tell my truth. Doesn't make me a hater. What the hell? Hater went out like 20 years ago. You still using that shit?
Why are you so angry this evening?
I'm in a mood. I'm in a mood.
Very angry.
Let's have a couple of Streamlabs as we move into this. Thank you so much, Joseph. Oh, do you have any more you guys want to say on this one?
No, I'm good. No. You've said enough for everybody on this one.
I'm not surprised by it though, and Vince, look, I got to give Vince credit. I mean, this is Vince doesn't necessarily gravitate to African American champions, and certainly Rock being half African American, it was something really incredible to see him be open to that possibility. And there have been many wrestlers who've had the ball. Not everyone can run with the ball, and sometimes having people who don't believe in you, having people who are so adamantly against you, it motivates you. It makes you work extra hard. And it makes sure that you aren't someone who doesn't believe in someone else when they get an opportunity to take the ball and start running with it. So, I mean, you look at that Attitude Era, Stone Cold, Triple H, and The Rock build that, and Undertaker build that Attitude Era for so many reasons. And it's because they had strong beliefs in themselves and were able to get to the mountaintop because of that, and worked hard to get there and be there. So there would naturally be a rivalry between these people. So I don't think it's necessarily that bad, but HBK is no surprise. Old man still trying to hold on. All right. Joseph Curran said, hey guys, I hope y'all are well. I recently watched a lot of pay-per-views from the early 2000s. I was just curious if y'all have seen anyone get a bigger pop than CM Punk did whenever he was in Chicago. That's a great question.
The only pop I can consistently remember off the top of my head is when Stone Cold Steve Austin was gone. They did the whole, take his ball, went home, like when he quit, walked out, and he wasn't expected to come back, and he didn't come back. It was just Eddie Guerrero was in the ring cutting a promo, and the glass shattered. Austin's music hit, and it was the loudest thing I'd ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah,
and that's the one I can consistently remember. Of course, WrestleMania with the Hardy Boys returning, because I was there. We were both there, TJ, and that's also very, very loud. But it's gotta. I would say it would be Stone Cold over even that moment. Just to have that.
That one was a big one. CM Punk, like you said, in Money in the Bank 2011 was a very big pop. Ziggler the night after WrestleMania 29 when he cashed in Money in the Bank. That's probably one of the loudest TV pops I've had. I mean, that was a good one, and I caught everyone off guard, and everyone was excited, even though he was a heel. I mean,
I would put Hogan's pop when he walked into WrestleMania 18 in Toronto. Like, nobody expected that. They had set it up a certain way, and when he walked out there, and that arena, stadium exploded, and they were so in the match that it changed the course of the match. Maybe not the result, but the course of the match of who was heel and who was face in a match. And it was one of the first examples I'd seen where the power of the crowd can change the storyline or change the demarcations of heel and face in a match. And I was so surprised to see that, because usually the crowd's pretty trained to cheer, who to cheer for, who to hate. And Toronto was having none of it for Hogan, and they were all about Hogan from beginning. They booed The Rock in ways The Rock hadn't been booed since he was a part of the nation. So it was incredible to watch that. But definitely the CM Punk pop, as you mentioned, TJ, absolutely. I rewatched the match, I think, for the show a few weeks ago, and just seeing the pop was incredible for CM Punk. And I still miss he had some of the best shirts too. CM Punk, for God's sakes.
Yeah, that Hogan Rock match. I don't know if you watched WWE Untold at all on the network, but I would love to see them do that match. Because they go, they dive into the match and talk about like everything from the build to what their thought process was during the match. And I would love to just see those Hogan and The Rock just talk about how like the mindset of what they did and how much they had to audible in that one. Because like you said, like there's no way that was the exact plan to go into it. And The Rock is just that good at improvising that he just turned that match around.
Yeah, he was pulling some heel moves in the middle of the match, and I was like, "Oh, I love this. This is great," and everything happened. What do you think, Aaron?
I also think a lot about Eddie Guerrero beating Brock Lesnar for the Undisputed Championship. That's a really big pop. I think about.
I agree.
I just had one in my brain. I think about that time where Shawn Michaels faked having Bret Hart come back, and he just didn't come back.
Oh yeah,
such a loud pop. Brock Lesnar coming back after being gone for like 11 years was a huge pop when he beat up John Cena.
For sure.
Those are the most kind of recent ones I can remember. I can tell you this: whenever people are allowed to congregate and the coronavirus is gone or at least under control, and we can all congregate together. That's going to be a loud ass pop too. Yeah. So I'm excited for that.
That's a great point. The one for The Rock also, when he came back as the host of WrestleMania, when they darkened the arena and you saw the lightning bolts, and then you heard "If you spin," everybody just lost their shit. Those are the best pops. Nobody pops for Triple H. They pop for Hogan. They
That's not true.
And they pop for Hogan.
When Triple H came back when he shocked the Undertaker before WrestleMania 27. Oh yeah. That one got a pop too.
And when he came back from his knee injury or his quad or whatever happened.
It was the one that he just when the Undertaker was just looking up at the sign, and all of a sudden Triple H's music came. They just had that silence.
Yeah, they didn't say anything. It was great.
Their first silent stare down.
Yeah.
And of course, anytime Shawn Michaels comes out, just huge pop.
Yeah. Not trying to denigrate Triple H. I'm just kidding. He does get huge pops when he comes out, and he's got some of the best intro music ever. I mean, Time to Play the Game is just awesome for so many levels. All right, what are we on to? No, well, how about any of the female wrestlers getting pops at that level? Aaron and TJ, or Sasha, maybe, or what?
Sasha and Bailey I just watched that one from NXT Takeover Brooklyn.
We covered that.
I mean, the man Becky Lynch. When she was on her run, like that was a great pop.
Right. I mean, when she got punched by Nia and stands there with the blood coming down her face on the that was a massive pop that they were cheering for her. That was pretty awesome. Yeah.
There was when Trish came back before WrestleMania 7 too. That one when she was tagging with John Morrison for WrestleMania. When she returned, got a pretty big pop.
All right, great.
I'm thinking about when Becky Lynch subbed for Lana in the Royal Rumble. She got that huge pop.
Yeah,
and then of course Royal Rumble pops. I mean, how did we forget about Edge?
Yeah,
Edge coming back to this Royal Rumble, and even Drew McIntyre eliminating Brock Lesnar, another huge pop in this past year. So
absolutely,
hell yeah, man.
Okay, all right. What are we next?
Let's talk about another. I mean, this is like the John Rocha favorites episode.
What?
If you caught this past episode of Monday Night Raw, you would know that Alexa Bliss has further revealed her dark side in the newest episode of the Firefly Funhouse. But before that, she distracted Randy Orton because Randy Orton's the champ now. The Fiend looks like he's on the warpath. Distracted Randy Orton, and he ate a Claymore. The Fiend was not around, and that's what happened. But later on, we got to go to the Firefly Funhouse, and we got to see Bray Wyatt talking about Randy Orton and how, he burnt down the house, the Wyatt compound, and Sister Abigail and all this stuff. And Alexa and the Abby the witch, the puppet, started cussing, and Alexa Bliss said "Yowie, wowie," and then finally we got to see like the demonic side of Alexa Bliss with her creepy ass long tongue, where Bray Wyatt even turned the camera to him and he said, "Holy shit!" So I mean, Rocha, let's go with you, man. What do you think about this devilish Alexa Bliss?
Yeah, I gotta tell you, I hated this idea. Because I'm like, Alexa Bliss don't need the Fiend. Alexa Bliss is just fine without the Fiend. And I was like, do I really want to see a situation in 2020 where a man's got to control a woman? Are we doing this shit still? But it is the world of professional wrestling. And if you can make it work, no matter what it is surrounding it, then it's great. And she is making it work. Once again, I tell people a million times, I don't understand why there are Alexa Bliss haters. It makes no fucking sense to me at all. She is so good at what she does. She is so great at doing so much with so many situations where she could have, easily been, forgotten about or not getting over the mountaintop. And she's been there multiple times. Now they give her this storyline, breaking away from what I thought was a pretty boring situation with her and Nikki Cross. And she's made it really work here with the Fiend and doing what she's doing, and she's leaning into it, and I can't help but think, look, she sounds, if you follow her on Instagram, she sounds like she's in one of the happiest places she's ever been in her life, and it's showing. And maybe that's even bringing a whole new level of like I don't know, joy and creativity to what she's doing here with this storyline that she's in with the Fiend. And it's great. And what is she doing? She's resuscitating the Fiend. For God's sakes, people were kind of in and out on the Fiend. Here comes Alexa Bliss to resuscitate the Fiend, and it really works. And now she's turning the power dynamic around where she's in control and not him, and I love that.
I real quick, I sent you a picture of the demonic Alexa Bliss. I emailed it to you, so if you want to put that up when you get a second. But
absolutely,
I'm sorry, TJ, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say, was it the demonic one with the fruit by the foot tongue that she sticks out?
It was great.
Oh, it was awesome. The guys on the podcast actually were comparing it to it was like the Hindu god of Kali, and they like dove into this like really deep, like dark, because the host of our podcast likes to be a detective when it comes to the Firefly Funhouse. So he dove really deep into it. So I can't even try because there it is.
Ooh.
Oh, it was but I'm loving this like Joker Harley thing they got going on with Alexa and Fiend.
Right.
Like, and it definitely, I wouldn't say it resuscitated the Fiend, but it added a new like little wrinkle to him. Like, because he was doing the same thing for about a year, so it adds a little thing to it. And I'm enjoying it. And there's just so many little angles going around that title. So the Fiend being in there just adds a nice little one in there.
Yeah.
What about you? Zeno Hour in the chat asked a really good question. Will Alexa get a mask? That's something I'm kind of wondering, because I've seen artist like renderings of what an Alexa mask would look like. I'll try to get one up, but just like how cool it looks like the Joker's daughter. If you're aware of that comic, what that looks like, something like that would be friggin' amazing. That I would love to see her get a mask.
Yeah,
she's already got the gloves, so why not get the mask?
Yeah,
let's get on that.
and not only that, but like the Fiend Bray Wyatt is a merch machine. I talk about this a lot. And now Alexa Bliss went from kind of fair to middling after they lost the titles. Her and Nikki Cross were kind of in the middle.
Right.
But now she's with arguably like the hottest act in the company. You got to put up Roman Reigns too in there.
Yeah.
And it's going to revitalize her career as well. Not just the Fiend Bray Wyatt, not just breathe new life into that, but her career is going to be okay. That was weird, but yeah, one of the pictures I saw was very weird, but yeah, I mean, it's going to bring her back, and I'm excited because she is very talented. She's very athletic, and I want to see her do more stuff.
And there was a time when she was perennially in the running to hold both belts. Constantly, either Raw or SmackDown, depending on what brand she was on. So why not work this to find her way all the way back to where she's maybe facing Sasha for the belt, if that's possible, down the road, right? Because they're both on SmackDown. Am I correct on that?
They're
or is she on Raw?
She's on Raw.
Oh, Alexa's on Raw. So who's the women's champion? Oh, so he go after Asuka, right? Asuka and Alexa, evil Alexa versus Asuka. That's a hell of a match to set up.
I think the Queen's on her way back. But
the Queen.
I think that's who's coming for Asuka. But
and I wouldn't be mad. I would not be mad about that at all.
Yeah.
If Charlotte Flair came back, but what if Charlotte Flair comes back and runs right into the Fiendess, if you will?
Yeah. Why not?
Here's I'm going to send this to you now. Here's a rendering of something somebody did. Just her in a weird mask. Sorry, I keep bouncing my computer, but
it's all right.
But yeah, I mean, if you can get these two, the Joker Harley Quinn is the obvious comparison between these two. Alexa Bliss has kind of been playing that Harley role for a while. It just depends on how they sustain it. Like, do they start bulldozing people like they used to, like the Fiend used to, just beat everybody?
Yeah.
Where does that leave Randy Orton? Where does that leave Drew McIntyre? Because I would hate to see them rush to put the title back on the Fiend when they just took it off him and just put it on Randy. Like, where does that leave Drew? I feel like it leaves Drew in kind of flux.
You're forgetting about the Miz with the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Exactly. What? Of course, you would remember that, but I'm just saying, like, but where does that leave everybody? You know what I'm saying? Like, are we headed for like a fatal 4-way? Like, what?
I don't know. Like, I thought for sure that the Fiend was going to jump in at the last pay-per-view and kind of interfere, and the Miz was going to cash in. But I was wrong. I can be wrong.
I really like Drew McIntyre as champion, but I think unfortunately for him, he ran into the buzzsaw that is Randy Orton's popularity. Like, Randy Orton could be like the #1 wrestler of 2020. I mean, you could definitely make an argument for it the way that he's performed. And I think they put the title on him a little too late, to be honest with you. I think that they should have put it on him at SummerSlam, but that's just me, instead of losing to Keith Lee. But that's whatever. But so there you go. Whoa.
Aaron's gone.
Whoa. Yeah. So that was Alexa with her mask on, kind of like a Harley Quinn, like a Gotham City Sirens kind of feel there. If you saw it there briefly, but yeah.
Well, why do you want to see Charlotte come back and do it again? Haven't we seen Charlotte do it a million times? Do we?
Charlotte's always on a different level, and she just elevates everyone that's around her. So I mean, like she, some people call her a shoveler. I think she's an elevator. She just brings everyone up. Like, if you look at everyone she's feuded with, they still end up on top even after they're losing. So I mean,
So what about you, Aaron? Do you think the same thing?
I love Charlotte Flair. I'm a big fan. I think we need to keep her just a little bit away from the title picture, just for a little bit, because I want to see what other character development Charlotte Flair can have. Of course, she's the queen. She's the 10-time women's champion. She's all these things. She's Ric Flair's daughter. What other wrinkles do we have to her game? Does she have other wrinkles to her game? That match that she had with Rhea Ripley, I say it all the time. Best match of the year at WrestleMania that wasn't a cinematic match for sure. And I just want to see her do more stuff like that. Like, she elevated Rhea Ripley. Yeah, she beat her and took the title. Whoop-de-doo. It didn't really hurt Rhea in the long run because Rhea's still quite strong. All it did was take a title and transition it to Io Shirai, who probably was long overdue for it anyway.
Yeah.
So I would like to see what other wrinkles there are to Charlotte Flair's game. And then eventually, put her back up to the top. Have her and Asuka do like a big-time battle again. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at this mask thingy.
There you go.
Oh, look at that. So that's that's somebody made that design, right? That's
somebody made that design. Yeah,
that looks like the Purge almost.
very very Purge like. Yes.
Yeah, agreed.
I like it. I dig it. Because I don't think you're going to get her to wear the same kind of mask that the Fiend has. You know what I mean? Like the one that made by Tom Savini. I think getting her to wear something like that and then take it off during the match would be
exactly.
That's for sure.
I like the creepy eyes that she has going on too. That's definitely working for her. So
yeah, let's let her keep going. And I think what you've said is an interesting point, Aaron. This idea of like, well, I don't want to see them put the belt on the Fiend already since he just took it off, and what does that mean for Randy and all this? Well, you got to do it right. So you got to let him come close, and if you know how to book it right, it'll work, and nobody loses status, nobody loses their push or whatever, or in front of the fans. So you got to learn. Sometimes they just do it too fast, and they don't understand how to keep it going and keep it vibrant, and it's frustrating to watch sometimes. Because you're like, it's too quick. It was too quick. And then what's the point of it? I thought they put the belt on the Fiend way too fast. Let him have more matches. Let him build up. Let him come close. Let him get screwed out. Let him develop enough anger to it so that when he does it, the fans have an explosion of joy that finally he's done it. I don't know. I just felt like it was too soon. So
yeah.
There you go.
All right, so let's hit a couple more Streamlabs that have come through. Keep sending them in, guys. The Streamlabs, the address is there in the description of this video. You want us to answer any of your questions or send in some Super Chats if you can only send Super Chats. Hill Nellums, I'm going to read yours, but I think we're going to talk about it in just a little bit. Hill Nellums. He says, happy Friday, guys. Does Darby get it done this weekend? I also think the stipulation for the Young Bucks versus FTR match is so unnecessary. It almost makes me think it's an automatic Bucks win and slightly reduces my excitement for the match. We're going to get into that in just a little bit, right, Aaron? Not just yet.
We're going to put a pin in that question. Yeah, but yes, we will get there.
We'll come back to it in just a little bit, Hill. And thank you so much for the donation. Thanks for watching again, brother. It's always great to see you. AZ Badfish said, speaking of promos, did y'all see Eddie Kingston and Mox on Wednesday night? Holy crap, gentlemen.
I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't see it at all. I've been watching. I was off Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from my job, and I have watched nothing but election coverage. I missed NXT. I missed everything this week. Wow. I am very bad. Yeah, but I'm sure TJ caught it.
I just caught that one on YouTube because someone else told me I had to watch it. So I did. Eddie Kingston is just fire on the mic right now. I mean, and he just I think someone said they wanted him to teach promos for NXT for a while too. So I mean, he's just anytime he touches the mic, it's great. Is it going to deliver in the ring? I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. But that was a great promo.
Okay. All right. Fair. I didn't get a chance to see it myself, so I will have to catch up on it sometime this weekend for sure. But I'm sure it was a great promo. I've heard nothing but great things about Kingston, so no surprise on my end. All right, Aaron, let's get into our last story here before we jump into our predictions for AEW Full Gear, and then we'll address your question, Hill. What's our last story here?
Tell me if you've heard this before. The Undertaker is bidding a final farewell at WWE Survivor Series this year. A promo video was released earlier today, basically just chronicling the Undertaker's career from his beginnings at Survivor Series, where he began as Kane the Undertaker with the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase and Brother Love. Before Paul Bear, and just kind of chronicling, through WrestleMania, his many championship wins, the Boneyard match, the many times we thought he was going to retire. And this looks to be the final farewell. No match named yet, if it's going to be a match. But, we're not really far off from SummerSlam, Survivor Series, just a few weeks away. So it's kind of weird timing. I know we've got Undertaker documentaries. It was Undertaker month last month. We got a lot of Undertaker stuff going on, so it would make sense that this would be the last ride, if you will, if you want to get cheesy like that. But how many times are we going to hear this song and dance that the Undertaker, he's done now, or is he done now, or he's going to lay his coat and hat in the ring and gloves in the ring, and then he's going to come back the next year and beat John Cena? It's just... Right. What is it? And will I cry is the question, and the answer is probably yes. Yes, I will. So, Rocha, I'll start with you on this one. Do you think this is the final farewell? Is he going to fight somebody, or is he just going to come out and do a spot like tombstone somebody?
Listen, the WWE fans love to chant one more match, right? Even to the Codgers who are 60 years old getting into the Hall of Fame, they still will yell one more match. So I would not be surprised if this is not the end. And I've been through many going out of business sales that last for 3-4 years. So I would not be surprised if this is not his last match. And it would seem weird to have a last match at Survivor Series and not at a WrestleMania where he's really become a legend. So have him have one more match at WrestleMania. Vince likes to put people over. You know, you're never bigger than the business. So have him do one last match, keep him on the shelf until then, have him keep working out, whatever, and then boom, you're done. But Survivor Series is not anymore, in my opinion, it's not really the premier, pay-per-view. So why have one of your greatest legends go out on a match at a lesser pay-per-view than WrestleMania? It makes no sense to me optics-wise.
I think it's all just money. I think it's because it's the 30th anniversary of his debut at Survivor Series, so it just all made sense to just wrap it up, get all that 30 merchandise gear and posters and Rob Schmamberger artwork and everything like that. He'll come out, say goodbye, do his thing, and then, I'm sure he'll come back and tombstone someone at like a Raw anniversary or something. But I think this one's it, and I think
really,
it's just, yeah.
You do, TJ?
Oh, yep, I do. Okay. I do. Like I said, he might come out and do his little tombstone. I don't think he'll do another match. I think, watching The Last Ride after all the matches that he fucked up in Saudi Arabia, I think he realizes it's done. I think his wife thinks he's done, and I think that this the Boneyard match is a good way to wrap it up for him. So, like I said, I think it's just a good way to sell that 30 merchandise, say 30 years of Undertaker, compete with the 30 years of Y2J that we had a couple weeks ago, and
who does it? Who does it? Who puts him over? Or who does who loses to him? Is
probably Elias again?
Anybody?
Elias?
Like who's going to get the call and be like, "Sorry, you got to lose to the Undertaker"? Like I don't think anybody's going to be like, "No, I'm not going to do that." I think anybody would step up to do that. I would like
Lesnar.
No way. No. Except for Brock Lesnar. except for Brock, he's not going to beat down Brock. Of course, no? I would like to see him just like he doesn't. What if he doesn't wrestle at all? Like, what if he just goes like face to face with Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, just for fun, just like kind of passing the torch, like a pass the torch moment, like they should have done years ago. Because we unfortunately never got the Undertaker and Sting. We got Bray Wyatt, which Bray Wyatt should have gone over him at WrestleMania, but that's another story.
Right.
I would like to see that, or I would like to see someone just absolutely destroy him. Like I would like to see Roman Reigns come out and maybe just absolutely destroy the Undertaker, which would really get him some heat. So it's whatever.
Yes, no. I like that. Baron Corbin.
No.
TJ,
come on! You don't like the King?
What is TJ's been hanging around the NXT too long? All these mid carders are polluting his brain. Listen here, TJ. It's not Baron Corbin who's boring as hell. Even though I was coming around on him at the end of his run there when he was finally getting over, but I think the answer isn't it Lesnar? I mean, Lesnar beat him in WrestleMania. It shocked everybody. I know Reigns beat him, but I don't think it carries the same weight. For him to beat the first person who beat him at WrestleMania, Lesnar would give him a great match. And it's believable that Taker would beat him. They're both advanced in age, so it just feels more believable to me.
I think it's just going to be like Ric Flair's little send-off of the Raw after he retired. I think he's going to come out, he's going to do his thing. They're going to surprise him, like surround the ring, clap for him. And maybe like Aaron said, we'll get a Roman Reigns coming out saying it's his show, and then we get back to whatever Survivor Series that's going on.
Okay. Here's my prediction. Whoever he fights, he'll win in Survivor Series, but then someone will run out and knock him out or do something, put one of his finisher moves on him, and that's going to be the build-up to a WrestleMania match, and that'll be his fully final match. That's my belief.
I don't know. I like to think that someone's going to beat his ass, and then they're going to put him in a casket, and then the Druids are going to be like, oh. And then when they did that one Royal Rumble with Yokozuna, they're going to have like the camera in. Yes, they're going to have the camera inside the casket, and his eyes are going to pop open. And I'm like, yes. Like that would be so fun.
Maybe we can get Heyman to pretend to be Paul Bearer again, like he did before that one.
Yeah, for CM Punk. Yeah.
That was spot on.
Just do that, and if they do that, everybody owes me $20 because that's a great prediction.
Fair enough. Thank you very much. Fair enough. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, we'll see what happens, but certainly it's been a great year for The Undertaker in terms of the documentaries and the love and the conversations. I mean, that interview with him and Stone Cold on the Broken Skull Ranch, that was a fantastic interview. These guys have been around a long time. It's just fun to sit back, turn it on, and do whatever you want to do, drive around or play video games or walk around your place or just lay down somewhere and listen to what they're saying, because it's a great trip back through the stuff that you remember and enjoyed with them. So it's fun to hear their perspective on all of that. All right, let's get into let me see if I've got any Streamlabs. Any more Streamlabs? Okay, no more Streamlabs. So keep sending them in if you want till the end of the show, but let's get into these predictions and preview for AEW Full Gear. Aaron, you want to take this one?
Sure, we could talk about the buy-in is the first thing that, of course, is the pre-show. AEW Full Gear comes your way this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, we have Orange Cassidy versus John Silver of the Dark Order. I'm going to go with Orange Cassidy in this one. He's been on quite the run. He did lose to Jericho. He did lose to Cody, but he's way more over than John Silver ever will be. Mm-hmm. So I'm going with Orange Cassidy here.
Okay. What about you, TJ?
I agree. I had Orange Cassidy on my little pick list that I had pulled up. I mean, like you said, how high is he, or how far has he fallen, though? He was up there, like, right up in the top of that pecking order, and now he's on the pre-show. Yeah. So,
oof,
shout out to Christian Ramos for saying pockets. Shout out to him, Jim Cornette. That's my man. Thank you for doing that.
Pockets. I'd say Orange Cassidy as well. Like, for the reasons that Aaron stated, like, he's had numerous shots, and this is like either a resuscitation or a burial, and I feel like he's still got enough that people want to see. So I think this is a victory for him to get him back in the conversation and start lining up some other storylines for him to get back maybe closer to the title. We'll still see.
Our next one for the buy-in is the NWA Women's Championship match. This was added a couple days ago. Yeah. Serena Deeb, the champion, versus Allison Kay, the former NWA Women's Champion.
Any relation to Billie Kay? No,
not quite. From different parts of the continent, I would say, the continental U.S. and then Australia. But Serena Deeb, of course, used to be part of the Straight Edge Society, if you remember that. With CM Punk. She recently defeated Thunder Rosa to become champion. I think she keeps it. Allison Kay is now a free agent, no longer really associated with the NWA. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that she's going to take it from her. I'll go with Serena Deeb, the sure thing, champ retains.
Yeah, TJ?
I completely agree. It's going to be Serena. I don't see them swapping the NWA title on an AEW pay-per-view right now.
Right. Especially as she's just got the title. She did defend it, but she just got the title off Thunder Rosa. So I'd be surprised if they gave it. This is more like to build her up a little bit more and to give her a good, tough match and get people excited about her reign as champion. So yeah, Serena Deeb makes sense to me. It makes sense to me as well. All right, what are we up to now?
So we've got the main card starting with Matt Hardy, wonderful, versus Sammy Guevara in an ultimate deletion match, which should be really fun. Matt Hardy said it's going to be the most ridiculous deletion match he's ever had, so that's going to be interesting. I'm going to watch just for that. Just for that alone, I got to see what's going on there. I think, though, that Matt Hardy wins his own style of match, and he wins the deletion and deletes Sammy Guevara.
DJ?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of side with you, especially because I still think Sammy's getting punished right now for his Sasha comments. But I think that he's been getting buried a lot, and I think that this might be his opportunity to actually win. And now that there's not a stipulation that Matt Hardy has to retire or anything goofy like that, I think he'll somehow weasel this one away.
Any repetition of what we saw before? Any repeats of those mistakes?
Yeah, I hope there's no botches and that Matt Hardy doesn't get concussed from falling off of a scaffold and gets accidentally cut open by a chair. Yeah, I hope none of that happens. But, they've done these he's done, 2-3 of these matches before. This match has probably been filmed weeks ago. I'm sure they took their time and did everything by the book. So I'm sure we'll be fine, and we're in for an entertaining one.
Okay. I'll pick Sammy just to be a devil's advocate. Just to have a little fun with it. I like the idea of him turning it around on Matt Hardy. Plus, Sammy's younger, and Matt's at that stage where he's putting people over, not necessarily getting the W's. So I'm just saying, I'll throw it out there that maybe I think Matt Hardy will give in to Sammy, and it'll give Matt some time off, maybe even that he might need. So, all right, what do we got next here, Aaron?
We have the two participants of Le Dinner Debonair, if you were a fan of that, which I was a huge fan of. Chris Jericho, the 30 Years of Jericho versus MJF, with the stipulation, if Jericho wins, MJF must join the Inner Circle. Now, this match is going to be interesting for a couple of reasons because MJF has really shown his darker side. Everybody thought, Chris Jericho said that he was a pansy, and then all the stuff that he wasn't scary, he couldn't be serious, and then MJF tackled Jericho on Dynamite and started beating him down. Yeah. So I mean, we're seeing a different side of MJF, a different piece of that character, which I really, really enjoy. And Jericho, I think, is at the point in his career where I don't know how much longer he has left with AEW, a year or two maybe, and I think we're going to start seeing MJF slowly make that climb back up to the world title picture, and I think this is a stepping stone from him. I think he beats Chris Jericho, and I think it's the big signature win that MJF has needed since he started in AEW.
Yeah. I'll go MJF as well. TJ, what about you?
Yeah, I got MJF. It's actually, if MJF wins, he's allowed to join the Inner Circle. It's okay, but I'm pretty sure that MJF's going to win, and Chris Jericho is going to get kicked out of that Inner Circle eventually, whether it's Saturday night or whether it's on the next Dynamite. But I think Jericho's going to be flying solo for a little bit as a face.
Right on.
That would be nice. It'd be a nice change of pace.
Yeah. All right, where are we at to next there, Aaron?
We're on to the AEW Women's Championship. Can't have too many women's matches on the show, guys. Just a couple. It's the Women's Championship. Hikaru Shida, the champion, defends against the former champion, Nyla Rose, the Beast. They've been slowly kind of bringing Nyla Rose back into the title picture, but I still don't feel that she's the threat that she once was. They like Shida. They like what she brings to the table. She's a good face for that women's division. Yeah. Until Britt Baker takes it away from her, I'm going to stick with Hikaru Shida to beat Nyla Rose this week.
Okay. What about you, TJ?
Absolutely. Shida's going to continue that one until Baker dethrones her, so it's Shida all the way.
Okay. Okay. All right, fine. I feel like Nyla Rose might win this one, just to kind of throw things into
it's possible
a little bit of disarray, because it's from what I've read and talked to people, it feels a little rote right now what's going on with Shida. So maybe Nyla Rose could have a shake things up a little bit if she takes the victory, and it gives Shida something to get angry about and come back and try to get the belt back from someone like Nyla. I think that's a fun thing to do with the storyline. So I'll go Nyla just for shits and giggles. All right, what do we got next?
Now, this next match is the one I'm actually looking forward to the most of this entire card. The Cleaner. Well, he's getting to be the Cleaner again. Kenny Omega versus Hangman Adam Page in the finals of the AEW Championship Tournament to crown the new number one contender. Former tag partners go to war. Hangman Page, Kenny Omega. And I got to tell you, Kenny Omega is going to win this one, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be, I think, the best match on the card. I think you're going to see a young guy in Adam Page who's just really going to keep continuing to climb, and one day is going to be the face of AEW, 100%. And Kenny Omega is going to start to rise back to that level that we saw in New Japan Pro Wrestling, where he's considered the best wrestler in the world, hands down. No distractions about it. He's not going to be doing this goofy stuff with the Elite. He's going to be Kenny the Cleaner, and he's going to continue to kick ass. So I'm going to go with Kenny Omega. And I think that he eventually will dethrone Jon Moxley as well. So there you go.
Okay. DJ?
Yep, no, it's definitely Omega. Omega should have been the person who dethroned Jericho, but now he'll, like you said, he's going to be dethroning Moxley, and he's going to show the United States why he was the best wrestler in the world for so long in Japan.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you can only keep Kenny Omega down for so long in terms of the storyline or in terms of the bookings. And so having him step into this situation and defeat Hangman Adam Page would be great and put him back into contention for a belt. And it'd be fun to watch him do that. That's where he deserves to be. You know what I'm saying? So I would look forward to it. And hopefully they take the reins off Omega in a match like this. Both him and Hangman get to go
awesome.
Full on nuts and have a great match, show their incredible athletic skills. And death-defying moves that they sometimes pull off. So I'd love to see that. But I got Omega winning for sure.
I think you're going to get it. I think when you say take the reins off, I think that's exactly what you're going to get in this match.
Mm-hmm. All right, what's our next one?
They're going to go full gear, if you will. But our next match is the TNT Championship.
Yeah.
Cody, the champion. Now Cody Rhodes again. I don't know if you guys heard that.
He got his name back.
Yeah,
he got his name back, but he's not going to use it. So he's just going to be Cody versus Darby Allin for what feels like the 20th time these dudes are going at it. But I got to say, Darby Allin, there's rumors that a Sting may show up, a Stinger may show up into this match. We'll see. I doubt it, but we'll see. And, Darby Allin's been a guy that's been groomed since day one, a lot like MJF, to be one of the faces of the company. He's over like Rover. And Cody, I don't think needs to be the TNT champion if he doesn't have to be to carry it. So I'm going to take Darby Allin here. I think that's a shocker to a lot of people, but I'm going to think that Darby doesn't lose another big match to Cody. He's already lost him, I think, twice. So I would like to see Darby Allin pull it out here. I think he could do a lot with that TNT championship. He's a guy that is always going to fight from underneath, but he's always going to be entertaining. So I have Darby Allin as my pick.
Okay. TJ?
I got Darby too. I think Cody's been building that TNT title up since he re-won that a couple weeks ago, and he's just been building it. He says it's the #1 championship in wrestling right now.
Easy.
And I think he did it just so he can put over Darby and make Darby look like a bigger star. So I think Darby's got this.
Okay. Yeah, I think Darby as well. I'm down with that camp. I like that, David. Plus, I think sometimes Cody's got to understand when you run a federation, sometimes or a promotion, sometimes it's your job to step back and let other people take the little bit of a star at your expense and a little bit of the glory at your expense. And Cody has shown the propensity to do that at times. And maybe this is one of those times that he does do that and gives Darby a little bit more of a rub. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it. So I'll go with Darby.
All right, well, that moves us on to our next to last match, which is the AEW World Tag Team Championships with the stipulation that if the Young Bucks do not win the tag team titles from FTR, they can never challenge for the AEW World Tag Team titles again. It is the Young Bucks versus FTR in one of the most anticipated tag team matches of all 10 years. Probably the last 10 years or so. So yeah, these two are finally going to get it on. And I know the Bucks did this stupid stipulation, which made me want to put my hand through a wall because Cody just did this a year or so ago. So I mean, it's not original by any means. And Matt Jackson is hurt. Allegedly has an MCL issue. But he said he is 100% clear to go. That was one of our stories, but I removed it because he said he was cleared by doctors to be in this match. So that nothing to be afraid of there. But I still think FTR is going to win. And I think the Young Bucks won't challenge for the tag team titles because, once again, they don't need them. Yeah. They're the Young Bucks. They're EVPs of the company. They don't need them. FTR needs them more than the Young Bucks need them. So I'm going to stick with FTR.
Okay.
Say yeah.
I think the Young Bucks have considered themselves the best tag team in the world, and I don't see them considering themselves that if they're not the tag team champions at least once in AEW. I have to say, like, with the injury and whatnot, like, it's a little disappointing because, like you said, this is one of the most anticipated tag matches in a long time. So it's a little disappointed. It probably won't be the match that we all wanted, but I think the Bucks are going to win, and then down the road when they can have more fans than what they're going to have this Saturday, FTR will dethrone them and then get it back. So it's going to soon be a transitional thing, but Bucks for the win.
Okay. I like the idea of the Bucks for the win too. I mean, we saw FTR before when they were under a different name, and they didn't show propensity to hold on to the belts that often. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the Young Bucks take it. Why not? Let the Young Bucks roll for a little bit and then, kind of start a rivalry or keep this rivalry going for a little bit longer. So, I'll take Young Bucks on this one.
All right. So that brings us to our last match, the main event, the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Jon Moxley, the champion, defends against his longtime friend, Eddie Kingston in an I Quit match. Now, I've got a lot of feelings about this. I think Eddie Kingston is an amazing talker, one of the best talkers you'll ever hear. Saw him a lot in NWA when I would cover the NWA for the Jobberknocker. I would see him a lot on there. And I thought he was amazing on the mic. In the ring, not my favorite.
Oh, okay.
So he's more of a street fighter, which really, will help him in this match against Jon Moxley. I think you're going to see probably one of his best matches that he's ever done. People always tell me how great Eddie Kingston is, and I agree with you on the mic skills, 100% in-ring skills. Just haven't seen it yet. Just haven't got that litmus test. But I think that Jon Moxley, being really the face of AEW, being its champion, has done a great job with it so far. Do I think he's #1 in the PWI? Fuck no. But that doesn't matter what I think. It's what the people think. And a lot of people are behind Jon Moxley. I'm behind him. I think he wins this. I think he keeps rolling until we get that eventual big showdown with Kenny Omega, which is going to be way different than the last match that they had and will finally pay off a really long storyline that they can tell. I'm excited for it. Going Jon Moxley here.
Okay.
Definitely it's going to be Moxley. I don't see either of these two saying I quit, though. So I'm kind of intrigued on how this ends because both of them are tough guys. Both of them are violent street fighters. So it'll be interesting to see how they do that, but it's going to be Moxley.
Yeah, I think Moxley as well. And I think having Eddie cut that promo let you know that they were going to have, let Eddie shine here because it's going to be Moxley who gets the victory in the match. But this one's going to be brutal, I think, Aaron. And certainly even when they're not intending to be brutal, they've shown some pretty brutal things in these matches at AEW over the last couple of years. So this one could get real dangerous if these guys aren't really careful. And so I'm excited, and I hope it's incredible, and I hope they just tear the house down. I just hope they don't hurt each other. But yeah, definitely Mox. I mean, Mox is just a killer, man. He's incredible. So hell yeah, let him win that thing.
It's like a ride.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody interfering at the end, do you think?
Well, there is the possibility of Pac. We've seen the vignettes of Pac coming back. So it's only a matter of time before Pac pops up. Not X-Pac. It just depends on where they want to put him in the card, where he's going to pop up. But Pac could be the next challenger for Jon Moxley to get him over to that bridge to Kenny Omega. So we'll see.
I was thinking Pac more for Darby Allin at the end of that.
Could be excellent. I would be into that.
That would be another great feud right there.
I would be really into that.
Yeah, I always love seeing him, man. No matter what he calls himself, he's such a fantastic wrestler. Of course, I knew him as Neville over there at WWE. He's a great wrestler, man. Just a great wrestler. So seeing him come in with, especially on the heels of Mox surviving a brutal match like this, having him come in and just do some brutality on him to just really lay him out would be incredible to watch. And, he's like, I just love the I know he's smaller in terms of height to Mox, but dude is stacked. So it'd be great to see these guys going at it with their different styles as well. So yeah, I'm down with that in the end. But Moxley wins this one for sure. All right, that's our preview of AEW Full Gear. Did we answer Hill Nelum's question about does Darby get it done this weekend? I think we said we split on that. Also, the stipulation for the Young Bucks is unnecessary. Do you think it's an automatic Bucks win and slightly reduces the excitement for this match? Do you guys think that's true?
I think it definitely does. Kind of put a damper on it. Even FTR said themselves, like, this is not how they expected this match to be, promoted. They, of course, with no fans, there's really nothing you do about it with COVID-19. I mean, this would be a big time arena match, huge pops all around. This is one that everybody wanted to see, but you got to do it sometime. These are two of the top teams in the in the business. Yeah, sure. That you have to do it sometime. Why not do it now?
Yeah. I mean, they have 50% at Daly's place this weekend. I think it was 50% for.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, because they had a lot of seats that were still available the other day when I checked. So.
Yeah. Cool.
Sorry,
cool.
I had to work, Aaron. Otherwise, we could have gone.
There's Ramos says he's built like a dwarf from LOTR. LOL. Hey, man, come on.
It's a muscly ass dwarf, man.
Yeah. You say that to him, Christian. I won't. Let's see. We got one last one, actually, from Christian Ramos, who says,
"Oh no,
I heard a rumor, a legend might pop up on AEW Full Gear. I'm hearing Sting, which would be cool, but isn't Kurt Angle a free agent? He got fired, right? He's not furrowed. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Imagine Angle as an AEW coach. That would be epic. Yeah, would it be Angle instead of Sting?
No, it's gonna be Sting. If it's gonna be anybody, it's gonna be Sting. I think Kurt Angle will find his way back to WWE eventually, in some capacity, if he hasn't already. So yeah, if it's gonna be somebody, it's gonna be Sting. Which I don't think it's gonna be Sting, because I think someone in AEW put that rumor out there so they could put more buys on the Full Gear. I don't think it's gonna be. You're gonna make Sting a manager? It's super lame.
Yeah,
because he's not going to wrestle. So what's he going to be? The GM? Like, come on, stupid.
They just have every single legend be a manager at some point. Like, that's all it's going to be.
Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson, Sting. Come on,
Jake Roberts.
Come on.
Right. Maybe it'll be HBK.
But it is worth noting that Sting does not have a contract with WWE right now. All of his merchandise is gone from WWE shop, so it's just that's worth noting.
Maybe it'll be HBK and he'll make it all about himself again.
HBK is the WWE lifer, sir. He's never leaving.
Just putting it out there. You never know. All right. Well, thanks, everybody, for watching this live episode of Strong Style. Hope we entertained you and you had a little fun with us talking about the world of professional wrestling. Don't forget AEW Full Gear, which we just previewed and predicted is coming up this weekend. So watch for that. Aaron and I will have some reactions to it for sure. I'm sure next week on the show. So definitely get involved with that. A lot of great matches lined up. So I hope it lives up to the billing and the expectations that a lot of people have. And let us know what you thought about our stories or our comments and what your comments are about some of the things we covered here in the comments section below. Remember to hit that like button on this video, and yes, comments, as I just stated, comments are important. Comments and likes elevate the visibility of this show. So if you got something to say it down there, whether you like it or like what we said or don't like what we said, say it down there so we can get more comments and more likes on this thing here. And subscribe to the channel as well for more stuff. TJ, where can they find you? Thanks so much for being a guest on the show, man. Where can they find you and everything you got going on?
Definitely. So I'm on Twitter at TJ and jobberknocker.com is where my weekly NXT is. That, and we have after every NXT takeover on YouTube, we have the NXT Hangover YouTube with me and my brother DQ. So,
right on. Aaron, what do you got, brother?
You can find me on Twitter at only Aaron Turner, where I will just be posting random GIFs about my reactions to the presidential election. That's it. I don't need to talk politics. I'll just throw up GIFs. Thanks.
That's fine. Oh, I like this idea. Maybe New Jack shows up. New Jack shows up.
Someone dies.
New Jack. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. You can follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram. And I think that's it, man. Y'all
buy our shirts.
Yeah, buy our shirts. We've got the strong shirts, strong style shirts there in the TeePublic shop. Go and find those things. We got the address in the description of this video as well. So go and find those, buy that merchandise. And shout out to all the people who have and taken pictures and showing us pictures of themselves wearing the strong. So that's a great damn logo.
AZ Badfish. I know you got the blue tank, and then go to ProWrestlingTees.com and get you a Jobber Knocker shirt while you're at it. Let's do that. TJ's rocking it.
Oh, nice.
ProWrestlingTees.com. Get you a Jobber Knocker shirt while you're at it.
We gotta get a thing with them, man.
We could do that
where they can send us some free shirts because I want that Einstein shirt.
I don't
think that's gonna happen. But we can work on it.
All right. At least a discount for God's sakes. I don't want to pay $35 for that Einsteiner shirt. Get it to me for 20 and I'll accept it. All right. Anyway, that's it for us. Aaron gets so mad when I embarrass him. All right, you guys are the best. We'll talk to you next time on another brand new episode of Strong Style. Y'all take care, wear a mask, and take care of yourselves this weekend. It might get hairy out there, so be well. All right? Much love.